Welcome back, everyone, to the tech show on Transform U Media Network and the Tech Engagement Network, and all of this provided with Daryoush. I'm Kurt Roskoff. I am co-hosting the show today, and we are excited to have a guest with us today, Andrea, and she's going to share with us what she does in her business services and what she's doing online and so forth. So, Andrea, do I have that right? That you
Yeah,
help people with their online presence and so forth?
yeah.
All right. Well, go into it. Let our audience know what is it you do and what is your business offer and how does it all work?
Okay. So it started with following up, helping businesses to implement good follow up strategies. And in order to do that, we use online systems, including a greeting card system that sends real greeting cards in the mail. Since then, we've also implemented a digital business card solution, which is like a mini website, which also has lead capture facilities. So that's really useful. And while I was doing that and helping people learn how to use the products, I found that I was doing more and more business coaching. And once people had their follow up in place, there were more things that they were asking about. And some people hadn't got to the follow up stage. They were still at the development stage and might not even have figured out what they wanted to do in their businesses yet. And then sometime last year, through my husband, I was introduced to a fairly disruptive technology company, I would say, a company out of Florida, which is now worldwide in 212 different countries, I believe, that is still at the funding stage. And they're producing a digital platform which will cover everything. So it'll go from domain registration to website building, landing pages, lead capture pages, even accounting systems, HR systems, platforms that you can teach on. So, an academy platform, which can be used for huge organizations like universities, but also for coaches who have got something they want to sell in video format, for example, or workbooks, anything you can think of. There's a system similar to Zoom, which is a little bit more sophisticated than Zoom. And the beauty of it is that it's global. The organization is global. The leadership council of about 30 people is from a number of different countries. So it's opening up the opportunities to use software and be a founder member of a company that creates software in places where people don't normally get the opportunity to make their own money. It's a great way to fundraise for charitable organizations as well. And then when the products launch, which is imminent, we're just working on the compliance issues in 212 different nations. Once they launch, the company uses their own AI system to bring customers in, and the customers will be given to the founder members. So that's how an ongoing lead generation will happen. And you can put your own website into the platform so that you can have traffic driven to your own websites. And that's what I've been working on most recently, because I think it's a perfect solution. And there's one more thing that I really like about it, and that's that the data is secure and private. A lot of companies that produce software products like Google and even Microsoft, they make more money selling your data, which doesn't necessarily mean your contact list, but it means your search activity, that kind of stuff, to people who can then sell you something than they do from actually selling the software in the first place. Certainly the social media platforms. There's also going to be a social media platform in our system as well. But ours is never going to be sold anywhere. That's not how they're going to make their money. In fact, that's one of the values that they hold. So you get great products, everything under one roof, no selling of data, and an opportunity to generate an income as well. I think it's the perfect solution for everything.
Sounds good. It definitely seems like cutting edge stuff and very innovative and something that the times are calling for with everything that people are doing around the world to harness internet as a capability to be productive in these times. It seems like you
Mm.
really got the tiger by the tail, as they say. So, help our audience out if people want to follow up. Like if they like that tease, that basically you gave a good description. It's more than a tease, but if somebody is kind of feeling like you're really speaking to what they want to pursue, how do they find it? How do they stay connected with you? How do they reach out to you guys? And how do they look it up themselves to do their own due diligence to check out what you just told them?
Yeah, our main company website, because I work together with a business partner, is on myhomebiz.tips. And all our information is there for the different products and services that we promote. We have a contact page there as well, so people can send a message in. Yeah, myhomebiz.tips. So I look after that. Any messages that come in will come straight to me. So if anyone has any questions, they can reach out to me there. Also, there are links there so that they can look at the product, and they can look at videos. They can look at all the products that we have, because our P stands for partnerships. TIPS is an anagram. T is for training, I is for inspiration, P is for partnerships, and S is for services. So we like building partnerships with companies and with people that we think are creating a valuable thing for people.
All right, very good. So just give me a little insight. We're bringing forth something exciting here, something that people can find worthwhile and so forth. How did you come by this? I mean, what kind of situation that you're doing?
I was introduced to I started doing some networking, some real in-person networking about 10 years ago to grow a business that I was working in at the time. At the time, I was promoting um, services, home services, internet, TV, phone, that kind of thing. And I met a gentleman at a networking event who did marketing, but in a completely different way. And he introduced me to this greeting card system. And I started using that to try and build my business. And I found that I was getting lots and lots of calls about my greeting cards, but people weren't interested in the products I was selling. They were interested in the greeting cards. And that's when I realized that they are actually quite important. And it grew from that. And I like being able to solve people's questions. And when people develop trust with you, they come back and ask you more questions. So once they're set up with their greeting cards and their follow-up system, and their business is beginning to grow, then they come back and they say, oh, do you happen to know about this thing? Or do you know where I can get one of those? So I found that it would be very useful and helpful for me and for everybody else if I knew where to get one of those, or I had access to this thing. And because I was still doing a lot of in-person networking, I was meeting people who had those things. And that's how it grew. And then I was helping and supporting them. And that kind of turned into coaching. And then just last summer, my husband introduced me to somebody who was a founder member of this company. And that seemed to answer so many of the other questions that I was working with. I work mostly with women, often with women who haven't decided what they're going to do yet. So that fitted in with that really well, often with people who work from home. And it just grew. And now I do have answers to lots of questions. And if I don't, I know someone who does, because I'm connected to a lot of people who are entrepreneurs and business owners. And if I can't solve a problem, I usually know someone who can.
Excellent, excellent. So, Andrea, you gave us a good segue. We have our regular contributor on here. He's AKA the Blakester, but Robert, are you there? Are you able to come on here and want to see what you picked out of what Andrea said, and then go right into what you brought for our show today?
Well, good morning. First off, hopefully you guys can hear me okay.
Yeah, we hear
Okay,
you good.
awesome. It's the more and more we meet, Kurt, it's kind of funny. As you always hear me say, it's interesting how my universe works, right? When thinking about a topic today, I really didn't have one in mind. Popped into my head what we should be talking about, and it just perfectly coincides with our guest Andrea today. So that's awesome. Welcome, Andrea. We appreciate you coming and sharing that information with you. I know I may know the company that you're talking about if they've been around for a long time. When it comes to the greeting cards, they're a great company. I know that much. But even looking at the information that Andrea is sharing with us, it coincides perfectly to what I want to talk to you guys about today, and that's owning your name to own your lane. Now, it may sound a little funny, and if you're an experienced marketer, you already get this, but I'm hoping that those people that are watching that maybe won't be so experienced will pick up more value off of these different trainings that we do every week. And again, it goes perfectly coincides with what Andrea was talking about. And I'm talking about owning your name, though. Okay. So, to give you a little backlog, I've been online for over 15 years. And when I first started out, coming from a direct marketing experience and background, I thought, hey, man, if I can go and close people at their door at 100%, should be really easy to come online and just destroy things in a good way, right? Well, I came to the realization that it's not as simple as people think it is. Now, once you learn how to do things like as Andrea was talking about, is networking with people and solving problems, eventually you become this person, this go-to person, if you will. But what is your branding saying? Like, do you own your name to own your lane? What I mean by that is, do you have your first and last name.com? Like mine would be robertblakely.com. Andrea's and her last name.com. Now, although she's not sharing her personal link with us today, if you go to the link that we explained and shared with you, you will see her nicely displayed there on the page. And I absolutely love, love, love the domain name because it perfectly ties into what it is that you're doing with giving home business tips, right? So, branding, how important is it, excuse me, super important, right? Now, as you guys heard, Kurt introduced me and said, "AKA the Blakester." Well, that's my branding, right? So when people come to me and they're asking for me to coach them through things, the first thing that I always recommend is to make sure, number one, that you have the right tools, that being the website that with yourname.com, right? Secondly, do you have email marketing system like an autoresponder? A lot of people, when they come online, they think it's going to be super easy to make all these millions of dollars, yet they don't even have the right tools in place to get started, right? The next thing I want to talk about and cover is even graphics, right? Even your graphics that you have, not only on your website, but even the things that you post on your Facebook page are completely relevant to how you build your brand and how you own your name and owning your lane, right? So, do you have, for example, your personal page on Facebook? And if you do, and you are creating solutions to people's problems, then I recommend that you also have a second page, which is a group page, and possibly even a product page, because you do want to have some degree of separation when it comes to your Facebook personal page and your Facebook business page, right? A lot of people you see will come online and they'll try to do business through their personal page. I've seen several people that are like, "Yeah, I keep posting, I don't get any kind of likes." So in essence, you have to develop that audience, if you will, on Facebook and any other social media that you're focusing on. But here's the funny thing: is you can't just focus on one social media, unfortunately, especially in today's age of society with all these new social networks popping up. It's a great idea for you to be involved in as many as you can, methodically. What do I mean by that, Robert? Well, I mean methodically. So maybe one day you're focused on Facebook, maybe the next day you're focused on Instagram, maybe the next day you're trying to beef up your Twitter followers. But every single day you should be working on your name and your brand so that you can own your lane and become that person of importance, become that person who's out there like Andrea solving customers' problems. Because ultimately, right, when you are able to solve people's problems, that is when you're going to start making money online. Everybody comes out here online and they think, oh, I'm just going to come online, I'm going to make all this money. And yet they get the harsh reality, they get slapped in the face. And the biggest reason is because, hey, they don't know what they're doing. They don't own their name, so they can't own their lane. They don't have the right website. They don't have the right tools and or autoresponder. They don't have the right graphics. They don't have their social media set up. They don't have their group set up. They don't have their social media properly engaged. So there's all these different things that you have to think about, but ultimately it starts right here with you by owning your name. You own your name, you can start owning your lane. That's what I got for you today.
Excellent, excellent. So we're going to take a moment here to get in an ASGAD security message about some news going on out there, because it's always good to own your lane and have your reputation out there, and you use all these tools and build stuff up. But unfortunately, there are people out there working against us with malwares and being hackers and all that kind of business out there that some people take on out there on the web. So we're going to go ahead and share a little bit of news from the hackernews.com. 9 Android apps on Google Play caught distributing alien bot banker and MRAT malware. And so it's something to be aware of out there, that it's good to figure out how you're going to beef up your attention to protect what you've got and protect your name and your data and your information. So we have that. And then I'm also going to share a second headline here, also from Hacker News. Daryoush helped bring this forward, these headlines here. Apple issues patch for remote hacking bug affecting billions of its devices. So let's just think about that. Two major players here, Google Play and then Apple, up against hacking and security issues and things that we got to think about, again, with our devices and the software we use and the games we play and the apps and all of this technology. All great stuff, but there are risks out there to keep in mind. So definitely keep in touch with us at the show if you have any further questions about that. We here at the Tech Show with Daryoush, we want you to be safe and have what you do secured, and keep your lane and not have somebody else chime in and start to chip away at it. So Andrew, what has been your experience in the realm of safety and hackers and in your technology solutions? Kind of what comes up in your wheelhouse to make sure all your clients, customers, and following, that everybody's safe? Anything to speak to as far
Yeah,
as that
I
part of it?
when it comes to a lot of social media platforms, I find that people don't pay attention to who they friend. And it's very easy to think that someone's genuine because they look genuine, but you do actually have to take some care to double check. And just because two of your friends have become friends with that person, that doesn't make that your person either. That still isn't real. So make sure that they've been on, I think Facebook's probably the worst. Make sure they've been on Facebook for some time. Make sure that they've got photos going back for a certain period of time, that they're posting real things, including pictures of themselves, that there is some information about who they are and what they do. So if their name is Tina Green and they're obviously Asian and they've only been on Facebook for 3 weeks and all their photographs would put up on the same day, the chances are they're not that person. The name doesn't match the ethnicity, the photos are too recent, and some of them have been around 6 months. And if all they're doing is posting memes and they've been doing that for 6 months every day, it still is unlikely that they're a genuine person. So do look at who you're accepting friend requests from. I haven't had any problems personally. I know a lot of people who've had emails hacked because you get a weird email from someone saying, hey, check this out. And you think, that's not the way that person normally communicates. So you then sort of text them and say, did you email me that thing? And they go, no, I've been hacked. So I've been quite lucky. I think just because I've been cautious, and of course now everything I do is going to be on this brand new platform when that launches, and I know that's going to be safe and secure. So I have no worries about that anymore.
All right, excellent. So basically, Blakester, do you want to come in here, Robert? And
Right.
you, Daryoush, and I were always working on this with this tech show to help the security side of things. And when you're in sales and doing all the marketing, reaching out there in the broad spectrum, you're also attracting potential harm, depending on who's coming at you. If you're popular, got a big thing to play with, what can you speak to today? And
Well,
bringing everything Andrea spoke about.
I can actually say quite a bit on that because I have personally been attacked and personally had my website hacked. In fact, many years ago, it was Daryoush that had to go to and ask for help. And it was just a malicious code that was injected into my website. This is back in the day. It's been quite a while. This is back when I was using WordPress. And although WordPress is still relevant and so many people use them, I've moved from that platform since. And I've, which platform I'm talking about that I use. I found a nice one. It's very secure from what I see and understand and all that jazz. But even on that topic, back when I was a PC user, I had to make sure that I had some kind of security there because PCs are, seemingly more vulnerable than now having a Mac, which I'm super happy I have one. And we've mentioned this in past episodes. I thought that we were pretty much indestructible or invulnerable having a Mac, and Daryoush is the first one to tell me and explain that's not the case. So yeah, there's definitely vulnerabilities out there that you have to be aware of. As Andrea said, be careful of the people that you even connect with. I was just kind of laughing in the background when she was explaining because I've seen all those types that she's talked about. Or you get that person with the two first names, or it's a female name and there's a male on their picture, or a male name and a female picture. Ultimately, if it doesn't jive, don't connect with them. And the other thing about that too is some of those many people don't know, but those fake profiles, if you will. I look at them almost as like phishing attempts. And if you don't want to know what I mean by phishing, I'm not talking about throwing a reel out into the water. I'm talking about people that will go out there and impersonate other people to creatively grab other people's content. And I think Andrea had mentioned that, and you really just never know what kind of content that they can grab from you. And I've always been, that person, hey, you want my identity? Go ahead, And when some of us say that until it happens, right? And then you have to deal with the nonsense. And it really can be frustrating, right? So obviously, do what you can to stay safe out there, be in the right social circles, network with the right people, as mentioned, and as Andrea, has mentioned, and it's also good to have somebody like Daryoush on your side in case you do have those questions or technical things. But definitely, as she was saying in Facebook, I go through every single one that ever requests, man. First thing I do, click on them, look at them, like she had said. When was the last time they posted? If they haven't posted within 24 hours, bye bye. If they're not connected with 3 to 5 of my closest friends, then I tend to not even pay attention to them. A couple of other things to mention, and I don't want to put a bad taste in people's mouth, but a lot of those people that say Forex trading on the top, they're just connecting with you so that they can pitch you. I already know these things. In fact, I can smell a pitch from a mile away. And be careful about those links, man, especially in Messenger. If it looks funny, don't even click on it. I mean, I don't, I can see it now because of the experience. It's like so easy to see. And I'm sure Andrea can vouch for me when we say, it's sad for us to see somebody go through that, but we've already seen the damage that it can do. So you definitely got to be safe out there. That's about it.
There you go. Thanks, Robert. So Emily has joined us. I want to do a check-in with Emily, see if she's there with her finger on the trigger to unmute and just give her a chance to do a quick introduction. And Emily, with what you do with employment, you want to just give a quick intro so that we can get you in?
Oh geez. Hi. Thanks, Kurt. I work for Onward and Upward and Prosperity Pathways, helping people get back on their feet employment wise. Whether that's in on-site job or online job. So yeah.
So Emily, with what you do, assisting the work of these organizations and everything online, you want to speak to anything in terms of technology, anything that you do personally to keep the work of the organization safe? Anything come to mind with our topics today of online safety and getting things done for outreaches from what we do from our office or from home?
Well, just sort of going along with what Robert was saying about if it doesn't feel right, to, like, don't click on it, and yeah, to that kind of thing. So yeah.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Emily. So that basically is the last sentiment of today's show. So we're at big thanks for Robert, Andrea, and Emily for all of you coming on and the work that Daryoush does for us and with us every week. And for sure, Daryoush has yet another great show lined up for you next week. So keep tuning in every week and share this with your friends, your foes, your coworkers, whoever you got. Please share the great work here at the Tech Engagement Network of Transform You Media Network. And we hope this has been of great use and service to you. And we appreciate, our audience out there, and we'll keep plugging away at it. And so have fun. Good luck with everything you're doing out there on the web and the internet and in the world. And we look forward to seeing you back next week. Again, my name is Kurt. I'm happy to be your co-host. Wait, bye, everybody. We've got this one.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye, everybody.